Now it's time for the drive home. Buckle up, bitches.
Well, welcome to episode 50.
Whoa! That's for the zombie noise.
Episode 50 of the drive home. We're
crazy.
a group of gays who go to the movies and review them.
The drive home.
Oh, people.
I'm Jason.
I'm David.
I'm Jose.
I'm Matt / Taco.
Happy Pride Month for those who
Yes.
celebrate.
Happy
50 episodes later.
50 episodes later, the gays are still kicking.
We're still going.
Not infected.
Yeah. Well,
Not
We just
maybe.
left the movie.
28 years later. And we went to an exclusive fan showing
Yeah.
and got a
Yeah.
collectible ticket.
Very exclusive.
Yeah, very
theater.
exclusive. Full theater.
yeah.
Yeah, with
The whole
all
cast was there.
Jodie Comer
Yeah.
and Ralph Fiennes painted from head to toe in red,
Aaron Taylor Johnson gave me a hug.
and some other things.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it was a really fun fan event with our exclusive ticket. And the movie is a sequel to 28 Days and 28 Weeks Later. And it picks up 28 years after the zombie outbreak that happens in the UK. And I'll kick it to Jose.
Sequel focuses on an island village that has survived all this time by supporting itself, living alone.
Sometimes the people from the village have to go to the mainland that is quarantined. And there's lots of danger.
And the main character, Spike, has a very sick mom and has to go to, I guess, the mainland. Would you call it the mainland?
Yeah, the mainland.
Mainland, leave the safety of the island in the mainland for what he hopes is a doctor to help his sick mom, and hilarity ensues.
Lots of hilarity.
Great.
All right, do we want to rate this movie on the count of 3? Thumbs up,
Yes.
thumbs down, thumbs sideways?
Ready.
Go.
Right. 1, 2, 3.
All the way down. Not even because it was scary, because it wasn't that scary. There are jump scares, but it's not like, horror, gore, or whatever. Really, and I'm surprised. If it had stayed with the beginning feel and the end feel, Danny Boyle, director, would have been on for it. This whole Care Bear stare in the middle of it, hated it. The kid sort of jumping over to, could no one tell him his mom was was sick?
Was a little annoying.
I
that
hated
not
it.
One villager
Hated it.
shared
Hated it.
that
Annoying.
crucial piece of information.
Annoying. And then all those people there, they couldn't at least keep crazy mama down for the count, anything, give her some, I don't know, some herbs, mash some mushrooms together, get her high as fuck all the time. I hated that middle part. So annoying. The little boy got 18 people killed for no damn reason. It was just really, if it had been rock and roll like the beginning and the end, maybe I would have dug it, but I couldn't. Sorry. I'm done.
Strong words.
Yeah, strong words. I really enjoyed the film. In contrast.
It started out rough for you.
I literally thumbs down in the theater just because it starts off with kids dying and being ripped out, and the Teletubbies and all that. But I just thought there was actually good character progression. I haven't seen any of the other ones. I ended up really caring about the mom and the child. There's a lot of genitalia showed in the film as well.
You liked that? The
which made
zombie
it funny.
Genitalia?
I have never seen so much full frontal nudity in a movie ever.
Neither. Record
And
number of
they
penises.
provide some comedic relief. At some point, there's someone who comes in, the Navy or the Army guy. And that was a really funny scene when he's talking to the boy.
Yeah.
Overall, I got invested and I ended up enjoying it. I liked the middle sequences more than the beginning and the end.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I don't know why. Maybe because it wasn't so gory at those moments. I felt the characters. Anyways, what did you guys think in the front?
I enjoyed all of it. I thought it was a little like, well, I had to get used to the Danny Boyle style of directing again. It's a little stylish, with the quick cuts in between and the shaky camera,
motion-ish, right?
some slow motion. But once you like kind of get into that, then I was really drawn in by the characters, like Matt said. I think that's what these 28 movies do well, is they have this big world of an outbreak or the rage virus, but then they really hone in on like a close-knit group of characters in each one, and that really works for me. And then you just get the jump scares and the gore and the violence as a nice little thrilling addition, sometimes very grotesque and gruesome to look at. But overall I liked it, and I look forward to the sequel that's coming next year.
What is it going to be called?
I think it's 28 years later, The Bone Temple.
Oh.
The Bone Zone, you say?
So, I mean, we saw so much frontal nudity. I would not be surprised.
How many penises do you think we saw in that movie? 100, right? Easy.
At least.
How many boobies? Do we count boobies as pairs or separate?
If you're counting as pairs.
10.
Yeah.
It was very male
They were
heavy,
yes,
right?
the females were often like the hair was like draped over the boobies.
And their boobies. They must have a plastic surgeon doing work out there because
Perky.
they were tight and turkey.
Sitting.
They were, they didn't move. And you'd think
Maybe it's the earthworms
out
they've
in
been
the-
eating.
wild.
And the dingle dangles were flopping all around, so they had reverse. They just
Dangle dangles were
saggy
dangling.
sausages.
Saggy sausage.
Saggy sausages.
Hashtag saggy sausages.
That's what should be called 28 years later.
Saggy
Colon,
sausages.
saggy sauce.
Danny, call us. We've got ideas.
Seriously, we've got a good spin-off.
It just felt like in the beginning, there's those cutaways to the old videos, and it's a little like war story. And, he does a lot of that cutaway to other genres too,
Yeah.
which I liked. That's why I dug it.
Yes.
And then I just felt like the lull in the middle, especially with, all of the like, oh, I have to save her, and this is, it just felt so far-fetched in this world that, about a boy just happens to have enough gumption to...
Yeah, it was a little, at the first when he started his quest with his mother, I was a little bit like, oh, really? But then I got into it because their bond was working for me.
The part I did hate was when the mom does realize, she's like, oh, I knew I had cancer. I did not like that. I wish
Mom was nuts.
I wish that she just didn't know, or nobody in the village knew at all. Like they never heard it. I don't know, because that was like, well, why'd you go on this journey? Like you were saying, I do get that part for sure. But I liked when the boy took his mom, because it was like rise against that cheating father who is building up his son and calling him a slayer, and I hated that character, so I wanted him to leave.
Yeah, he was a douchebag.
Yeah, Jason, how did you feel about the movie?
I enjoyed the characters. I think these movies do a good job. I mean, they lean into horror because obviously it's a zombie film, but you rarely have like a character development, and rarely care about the characters in a horror film, I feel like. And I did like the comic relief. Like, it was really funny. Like, at one point there was a Swedish soldier who, sort of came to save the day, and he had an iPhone, and of course the Spike didn't even know what that was, didn't know what the internet was, and he showed his girlfriend, and she had some plastic augmentations to her. He's like, what's wrong with your girlfriend? It was so funny.
The lady in the village eats shellfish and gets allergic, and then
That's what she
blows
looks
up
like.
and looks like that. That was really funny.
Yeah.
The whole theater was laughing.
Yeah.
Besides Jose.
No, I liked that scene.
There was some comic relief. I thought
Yeah.
it was.
I think
I
there
enjoyed
could have
that.
been less of the emotional side and a little bit more of that like rock and roll, gritty punk fighting
Yeah, it was very
with some of that
French.
humor. And maybe that's what the next movie is going to be,
Yeah, those guys that came at the end of this one were a very interesting little troop.
Yeah, were they like the Power Rangers?
I liked their
That's what
little
they looked
juicy
like,
couture
yeah.
sweatsuits.
Loved.
That's
They
where
loved
the inbreeding was.
Yeah.
Because you could tell.
Yeah.
They all looked alike, yeah.
All looked a little touched.
Yeah, they were inbred.
Mm-hmm.
No, and they must not have toothpaste.
They're
28
silly
years
sausage.
later.
No.
Where are they going to get it? Boots isn't open. Their version of Walgreens.
Guess.
Do you think you'd be good at playing a zombie on one of these?
I think it would be a
Wait,
fun
are they all
role.
CGI'd or no?
No, those
think
were definitely actors.
No, I
covered
think they
in
were
makeup,
real, yeah.
I
Would
think I
you
would
strip down naked and
100
run after someone as a zombie?
100%. It'd be so fun.
Well,
to be
they
on
were
a
all
movie set.
prosthetics, right?
Yeah.
All
Yeah.
the.
I'm sure that was.
You have a-
So yeah, I absolutely
You have a
would.
silicone panty and then you just...
Why not just show your real dingle dangle? Like, what
If
does
they
it
paid
matter?
me a little more, I absolutely would. I mean,
not
because no
paying-
one's gonna remember like you and
Yeah,
a
of
crowd of
course.
500
I'm not
zombies.
paying you more for your dingle dangles.
Zero. You're getting craft services and this poster.
Yeah.
And they're like, good night and good luck.
Right.
4 days of work.
I would do it for the experience, you know? The drive home in a zombie movie. It would be great. I also, this is the first time I have seen a decapitation with the spine still.
Yeah, you don't see that very often.
It's in Mortal Kombat.
That's true. The alpha zombie, would just rip your head off, but the spine was still
Take, yeah,
attached.
half the spine.
I mean, that's impressive.
that is a lot of strength.
Yeah.
Because your vertebrae are very strong.
Any comments on the alpha's sausage?
It just looked so fake.
My
God.
They're
It was-
eating something out there in the
It was
wild.
huge.
Earthworms.
It may be.
Dr. Taco, you don't really like horror
I don't.
creatures. Would you prefer vampires or zombies? Because we've seen both recently.
I really don't like either, to be honest. I think I prefer zombies over vampires. I think vampires are just really stupid.
Well,
We're
home. Taco,
Yes?
would you like to sing us out?
Sure.
Let's bow our heads.
Zombie, hey, hey, hands in your hand, in your hand. Zombie, 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 yeah, yeah.
Like and subscribe.